For most of Hawaii's history, the archipelago had a number of ali'inui that governed each island independently. But in 1810, the islands of Hawaii, for the first time, reunited under the constitutional monarchy of King Kamehameha the Great. Thereafter, the Kingdom of Hawaii began trading with France, the UK, and the United States, its main export being sugar. By 1849, all three of these nations had formally recognized Hawaii's independence, basically signing a treaty that said, "We promise not to take your land, with the caveat that we get your sugar." American plantation owners gained more and more political clout in Hawaii, becoming very rich, and some even marrying into the royal family. The American government also had a growing interest in some Hawaiian real estate for military purposes. In 1874, David Kalakaua became the king of Hawaii and was pressured into selling the sacred land of Pu'uloa to the United States, which would later be known as Pearl Harbor. In 1887, Lorne Thurston, a descendant of American missionaries, drafted a new constitution and used a militia as a threat against the king, who was forced to sign the Bayonet Constitution, which stripped Hawaiian monarchs of much of their power and stripped all citizens of voting rights except for rich landowners. With practically all of the voting power, white Americans began electing themselves into positions of power. This resulted in fewer Hawaiians benefiting from the sugar trade, and Asian migrant workers, who at this point made up the majority of the island's population, became ineligible for citizenship altogether. Kalakaua's sister assumed the throne after her brother's death in 1891. She became Queen Liliuokalani, but she feared she would be nothing but a powerless figurehead. Thus, she made it the mission of her reign to create a new constitution that would restore power to the monarchy. She toured the islands for years, campaigning and gathering support. The Americans, led by Sanford Dole, yes, that Dole, feared a loss of power, so they called upon the U.S. Marines and staged a coup against the Queen in 1893. Queen Liliuokalani was imprisoned at Iolani Palace under house arrest. Fearing violence, she ordered her forces to surrender and was forced to abdicate the throne in exchange for amnesty for her jailed supporters. A provisional government under Dole was put in place to rule Hawaii until it was annexed by the United States. Newly inaugurated President of the United States, Grover Cleveland, called for an investigation into the overthrow, concluding that we should endeavor to repair the monarchy. If you know anything about American history, you know that that was never going to happen. A new report, sponsored by the pro-annexationists, big surprise, contradicted the first investigation and found the coup entirely legal. Hawaii remained a territory until American soldiers who were deployed there during World War II made Hawaii the hot tourist destination, and the government figured it might as well be a state. This tourism, incidentally, drove up the cost of living so high that many native Hawaiians were forced to move from their homeland, including my family. Native Hawaiians have been protesting American governance in the islands ever since the coup. Political organizations known as Hawaiian sovereignty groups seek Hawaiian independence and describe the overthrow as a prolonged military occupation. These groups have been at the forefront of Hawaiian cultural preservation and empowerment, promoting education in Hawaiian culture and the ancient language. In 1983, the 100-year anniversary of the coup, then President Bill Clinton said he was sorry to the Native Hawaiians on behalf of the United States government for its involvement in the overthrow of the kingdom. So with that, the U.S. can congratulate themselves and check Native Hawaiians off their ever-growing list of people they should apologize to.
Our people are rising. Our people no longer will accept being second-class citizens within our homeland.
We have no other choice. We fight, we resist, we stand, or we disappear forever.
Stand in your